One of the hottest things happening for walleyes is the idea that they often respond to much more aggressive tactics than walleye anglers are used to using. Today, we head onto the water to explore this idea in action.
Beautiful fish to start. Right there. And working with a blade bait right now. That's a classic early spring walleye lure. Could be jigs, and I love swim baits early like this. But we're going to talk about this presentation repertoire. So you've got this spectrum of retrieves. You've got the Rippin retrieve, which is super aggressive. We probably won't get to that today. Then you've got the pullin retrieve, and this is classic pullin weather right here in conditions, because walleyes love pulling. And basically you're good at that. Why don't you explain it?
Well, when you have the colder water, you don't want to be too aggressive. So when you're talking pulling, all I do is it's all in your arm. A lot of people want to use your wrist. You don't use your wrist, you use your arm. So it's pull up with your arm and then drop it back down. And when you're dropping down, you're reeling. So it's
basically you're starting with the lure on the bottom and the line tight.
Correct, yeah. Your lure's on the bottom, so you're hopping it up and then you're slowly dropping it back down. But you got to keep your line taut so you feel the bites, because they're always going to bite when it's dropping back down.
And with the blade, it's a classic. You feel a zzz in the line because we're using the anaphil, which is no stretch line. So you go zzz, and then it falls dead slack, or not. But
And then when it hits the bottom, what those fish are doing, as soon as it touches the bottom, those walleyes are sucking it right off the bottom.
They're pinning
so
it.
It's critical to keep that line taut and have a good super line.
Oh, we got him! Got him!
Nice.
And just classic, as Brett explained, how he's doing it. Works in rivers, works in natural lakes. Wherever walleyes are at, you're gonna find ripping, pulling, and poking. There we go. Hey. Oh, that's gonna be big fish of the day right there.
That is a good one.
Wow.
A 30-incher.
Blade right in the corner of the mouth there.
Now, one thing I saw, when you had that fish on, you're bringing it in real slow with the blade, and that's critical with the blades. You got real little hooks.
Yes.
You don't want a horse on when you get them hooked up, because you'll pop them hooks right out.
And that's a Johnson thin fisher, classic blade. The head end has got some lead on the bottom of the blade, and that's what keeps it, you know, riding down like that. So up, down, vibration, little flash. Let me show you that fish. Beautiful. All right, I'll stick with the blade for a while. I know you're a believer in that swim bait, so might as well work that one.
Fish.
Got him? Got him. Way to go. Well, it's hard to keep you down 2 fish to none. I've learned that over the years.
Doug, all the filming we've done throughout the years, I really enjoy fishing a lot with you. And
well, thank you. I enjoy fishing with you too. That's why you continue to do it so much.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Walleyes, whitefish in the wintertime, smallmouth bass, and of course you are the muskie king on Green Bay, that's for sure. Ooh, very nice. Here we go. What fish here, man?
I don't think there's anywhere in the world you can go to get this average size fish. I mean, we've been catching all 27 to 30-inch fish.
It is amazing.
Incredible.
Indeed, indeed. The Great Lakes as a whole is amazing. And you went to the classic jig here. This is the new rib shad.
Yeah, I really like this bait a lot. Right now, water temperatures are real cold. When they're cold, I like to work the bait slower. This bait allows you to work it slow because it's got such a flexible tail and a big paddle.
Right.
It's cold water. One thing you gotta remember, cold water, these walleyes are a little lethargic and they're not super fast moving, so keep them baits slower.
And one thing, when you're pulling, you want something that makes the bait hesitate. So with the blade, it's hesitating because of the wobble. And here, it's the bulk of the bait and the fact that that paddle tail is on there. So cool deal. All right, well, you stay with that and I'll stay with the blade, and we'll give this guy the quick release here. Down he goes. With the blade in particular, you got to be casting right into the wind, because else you got too much bow on your line. So it's straight out like that, and then I'm going to let it sink on a semi-tight line. And I'm watching my line because that's going to tell me when it hits the bottom, my line is going to go a little bit slacker. So there, I'm on the bottom, tighten up, pull, down, pull, down, pull, down. And the thing I like to do with the pulls is I like to make them, you got to vary how erratic they are. Because sometimes the fish, even though they don't want a rip and retrieve, they want a little bit more erratic retrieve.
Got him, Doug.
Good job.
One thing a lot of people don't realize is how important it is to have the right line to feel the bite.
Yeah.
It's critical, and this nano fill is awesome.
I think it's as big a revolution as Fireline was when it was first introduced. That is a giant fish.
Good fish, Doug. He's big. That hooked very good.
There we are.
Oh,
What a way to end the day there, man. Good job.
wow, that's a beauty.
Big fish of the day, last fish of the day. No ripping, didn't need ripping at all. And we're not poking around, but the pulling was the deal. And you've got the extreme end, the ripping. You've got the pulling, which a lot of guys don't quite understand and don't do. You can use that pull and retrieve with a variety of lures. You can use it with a jig, zzz, down, the blade, zzz, down. A lipless lure works great too, doesn't it?
Awesome.
You have a spectacular fishery here. I enjoy coming to Lake Michigan.
I'm blessed to be living here.
You are indeed.